Most people still think AI agents are futuristic, or worse, they think they're toys just for developers. But I think the truth is that they're already running real businesses. They're closing deals, they're writing code, they're qualifying leads, and doing the work that entire teams used to handle. And that's not next year, it's not tomorrow, it's today, right now. And if you're still treating them like experiments, then you're probably already playing catch up. Because while you might be stuck in your inbox, someone else's agent is prospecting, is answering leads, is booking calls, and shipping content all before lunch. And I think the thing that most people miss is that building an agent isn't about giving a few company PDFs to ChatGPT. That's just duct tape. It's not design. A true AI agent does not just reply, it observes, it decides, and it acts, whether that's with or without you. So in this video, I am going to break it down step by step. What an AI agent really is and what it's not, the core building blocks behind one, and the exact beginner-friendly tools that you can use today, and many of them are free. And by the end, you will hopefully better understand AI agents, but also you will know how to build one yourself and how to put it to work on real tasks that actually move the needle for you, whether it's in your life or in your business. Let's get one thing straight. I see this confusion a lot of times. An AI agent is not just a chatbot with a fancy vocabulary or better grammar. It is a system that does things for you, and it doesn't just talks about them by giving you an answer. And no, it's not an automation either. I will explain in a moment. An AI agent can understand context, can know the tools that it has, and can make decisions and take actions to achieve a specific goal in an autonomous way. Maybe a good idea is to think of it this way. A traditional program usually follows the if-then logic. If this happens, then do that. But an AI agent operates on goal-oriented logic. You basically tell it, here's what I want to achieve, and then it figures out how to get there. So I think the simplest definition that you can have in your mind is that an agent equals a goal plus memory plus reasoning plus action. Because it has a mission, it remembers context, it thinks through next steps, and then it executes in the real world. If you're familiar with Zapier, I want you to compare this to your typical automation. For example, Zapier will wait for a trigger. It follows rules that you give it, and it executes predefined steps. Same every time. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but it's limited. The moment that something changes or something breaks, it can't adapt to handle unexpected situations, but agents can. It's a different game with them. An AI agent is like you're hiring a digital intern with initiative. They don't just follow your checklist, they also improvise when the checklist runs out. And they can filter things out and learn over time. So let me give you some real examples to hopefully bring this home. An AI agent can book appointments, follow up with leads, analyze customer data, and adjust its approach based on the results. I mean, hopefully you can see the difference. One is reactive and the other one is very proactive. So to keep it simple, you can think of an agent like you're giving GPT arms and legs so that it stops talking and it can start doing. That's also not operator. We can talk about that in another video. So let's talk now about the building blocks, because once you understand what an AI agent is, it's important to talk about how you actually build one without getting lost in the weeds, because trust me, I've seen so many people do that. So I want to give you a blueprint that you can follow step by step. So first we talked about goals. So you need to define those goals. You need to start with the outcome and not the technology. Okay, you're basically giving your agent a mission. What do you want the agent to do for you? Maybe that's leads to the right team member, or answer customer emails automatically, or send you a Slack alert when your CRM changes. And you will look at this as the North Star, because if the agent doesn't have a goal, it's just a chatbot waiting around, right? Now, the second big building block is your input method, because you need to give it perception systems to gather information. So that's about how your agent will receive information. You can think of it as the year of the agent, okay? How it hears the world. And that can be a form submission, or a new row in an Airtable or in Notion. It could be a Slack message, or it could be a webhook. And I know that this is not a term that everybody knows, so I want to explain what a webhook is. You can think of it as a tripwire. It's a way for another system to automatically notify your agent when something happens, like a new payment has been received. So Stripe sends you a notification to start a client onboarding process, for example. Because instead of constantly checking, your agent can get notified, can get a ping that says, hey, something just happened, go do your thing. Now, the third building block is about the agent's reasoning engine and the memory. This is the brain of your agent and their capacity to remember, okay? And at the center, you will usually have your large language model, whether that's GPT-4 or 5 or Claude, and they're the ones doing the heavy lifting. They're the ones interpreting the input and planning the next step and choosing which tool to use. A true agent doesn't start from zero every time. You want it to remember the past actions and store key context and improve over time. And sure, this can be short-term, within one session, or it can be longer term, across days and tasks. And that's the memory, because without memory, your agent is technically a goldfish. It has no idea what you said or what you liked yesterday. But with memory, it becomes a real operator. And you can use tools like Supabase, for example, or similar databases to store that relevant information for a longer period of time and give your agent memory. Because you want to make it feel like it knows and helps you instead of just doing things in a generic way. And then the fourth building block are the external tools that it can use. Those are the action capabilities that help your agent execute decisions. It's the hands, okay? Your agent is not just thinking like a typical GPT, but it's also doing. So you can give it access to your Gmail, for example, to send emails, or to Notion to update projects, or to Stripe to check invoices or payments, or to APIs to connect to anything else. And this turns your agent into an actual operator and not just an observer. But I want to explain what APIs are, because maybe this is a new term for some of you. An API is like a menu at a restaurant. It tells your agent what actions are available on another app or a platform. So for example, if you want to send an email with Gmail, or pull calendar events with Notion, or check Stripe for payments, then the API says something like, here's what you can ask me to do, and here's how to ask me. Okay, so your agent is going to use those APIs to reach out, get that information, or take action outside of itself, like the arms and legs that we talked about earlier. And then the fifth building block will be the logic and the flow of your AI agent. That's the nervous system, okay? And you can tie this all together within that orchestration layer, which, for example, could be NA10. And that's where the agent actually becomes autonomous, where it can make decisions or branch logic or retries or fallbacks. So basically NA10 is going to connect the parts and keep the whole system flowing. Now, I know I've spoken about many pieces, so let's bring that all together and let me give you some examples to make everything click. For a lead routing agent, for example, it'll get new inquiries, classify the lead, and send them to the right person with full context. Or if you're thinking about an email reply agent, it will read incoming messages, draft and send smart replies, and flag anything unusual. Or if you have an AI concierge, for example, it'll reply to clients, book meetings, send reminders, fully autonomously, and always on. So now let's talk about tools, because this is the part where many people overcomplicate everything. You do not need LangChain or a PhD in computer science just to spin up an agent. In fact, trying to go full stack too early is a great way to burn 6 weeks in setup and never ship anything. It is literally like buying a factory when you've never even sold your first product. It's an overkill. So instead, you need a minimum stack, okay? Something that's light, that's modular, something that gets you real results fast. So here's what I recommend. First of all, NA10, that could be your logic board. It's basically like your canvas, because you can drag and drop things, you can connect steps. It literally works like a flowchart. You don't need to code, and you see your agent's brain unfold like a flowchart. Then you need your agent's brain, and usually you would use OpenAI for that. You can plug in GPT-4 or 5 into your workflows with simple API calls, and then that handles the reasoning and the language, so then you don't need to do a lot of fine-tuning. There's no wrestling with models. Then you need your memory bank, and for that you can use Airtable or Notion, and you can use those to store inputs, outputs, to track what the agent has already done, and hopefully for most people that'll be familiar, it'll be easy, and it integrates smoothly within NA10. And then for the simple agent memory, you can use just simple memory, or you can use Supabase. I mean, that's enough for an MVP. The memory doesn't need to be complicated in order for it to be useful. This way, you can think of it like Lego for agent building. You know, you've got your toolkit for your Lego building. Now look, this is not going to win you any architecture awards, let's be honest, but it will get your agent running. It'll get it to be useful and public-facing without you having to run any backend lines, pretty much. So I think it's perfect if you want to learn by building and not by reading a white paper. So let's say that you're building a lead response agent. Your trigger could be that a webhook in NA10 fires when a form is submitted. Then your input, basically, that will grab the person's name and company and question from the form. The logic could be something that NA10 passes the information to OpenAI to generate a reply. And then your action is that the reply gets sent automatically through Gmail. And then when it comes to memory, basically the context and the reply can get saved in Notion or in Airtable for future use. And there you have it. You've got a working agent. It doesn't have to be really complicated. You just need to understand how it operates and what are the building blocks that you need. Now look, most people build an AI agent and then leave it trapped on their laptop. But now we need to talk about something extremely important. This is probably one of the questions that we get asked the most in our Founders Hive. An agent that isn't online is not an agent, it's a demo. And the truth is that if you want to get real leverage, like leads captured or emails sent or tasks closed while you sleep, your agent needs to be in a place that doesn't turn off when you shut down your lid. So let me explain. There are two ways to run AI agents and automation tools in general, like NA10. On the one hand, you've got your local hosting that's on your own machine. And I think that's great and really fast for testing. You can spin it up fast, you can break things, you can get a feel for it. But the moment that your laptop powers down, it's game over. So that's good for experiments, but it's really bad for reliability. And there's no public access unless you hack together port forwarding or tunneling or something like that. So you can think of local hosting like building a robot in your garage. I mean, it's really cool, but it can't do much for you out in the world, right? And then you've got your non-local hosting, which could be either cloud or a virtual private server. And that's where you would go if you wanted to be serious. With a virtual private server, your agent can run 24/7. It can run securely from anywhere. It will be always online. It can handle webhooks, APIs, client requests without relying on your Wi-Fi. So it'll be always public facing, can accept inputs from any source. It'll be more secure and it'll run in the background even while you sleep. So while local hosting is like babysitting your agent, cloud and VPS is like hiring it full time. So you want to think of it like giving your AI agent a real office, not your bedroom floor, because real world agents need real world infrastructure. So if you want your AI to respond at 3 a.m. and handle live inputs or quietly work in the background while you're doing something else, then as I said, it needs a home that is always online. And for that, one option you would want to consider is Hostinger, because I don't know if you knew, but Hostinger is not just for web hosting. It is also the fastest on-ramp for solo builders who want their agents alive and working, not just collecting dust on their laptop. It's one-click deployment of NA10. There's no setup nightmares. You don't need DevOps. You can skip the server config headaches I'm going to show you in a second. You get up to 4 times cheaper than most providers, and you got full control over your setup, so there's no sandbox limits. So here's how easy it is to get started. You would go to hostinger.com. If you want to use our link, then it's hostinger.com/superhumans. And then you can choose your KVM plan. That could be KVM2 at $6.99 a month, which is perfect for running AI agents. It has 2 virtual CPU cores, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, 100 gigabytes of disk space, and 8 terabytes of bandwidth. Or you can also go to KVM4, which for $9.99, you basically get double the capacity. Honestly, I think the price-quality ratio is great because the self-hosted NA10 allows you to use NA10 free of charge and only pay for the VPS hosting, which allows you to save up to 4 times. You can host unlimited workflows and unlimited concurrent executions. So let me show you. Once you go to hostinger.com/superhumans, then we add to cart the KVM version that we choose. Feel free to apply superhumans.life code for a discount, and then launch the NA10 template with literally 1 click. So you can start building in minutes. The deployment of NA10 is very, very easy. There's a pre-installed application. So all you need is just to choose a standard template, Q mode, or one of the 100+ ready-to-use workflows that already exist. And then you've got various operating systems and configuration options. And just like that, you're giving your agent a permanent office, a place that it can live, it can work, and it can keep delivering value even while you sleep. Now, a question that we get asked all the time is about privacy and security. And with self-hosted NA10 option, your data will be completely private and secure, and you also get free automatic backups and real-time snapshots. So this way you can store files and backups securely on your VPS with free weekly backups with easy manual snapshots for quick data protection and recovery. Make sure you go ahead and use your superhumans.life code to get an additional discount for all yearly plans with this code and with the hostinger.com/superhumans link. And also big thanks to Hostinger for supporting this channel and for giving us all the tools to build like a team. So look, Now your agent has a home. It is no longer stuck on your laptop. It's alive, it's online, it's working in the background. But once you build your first agent, even if it's a small one, you will stop thinking in terms of tasks and you will start thinking in terms of systems and workflows. Because sure, one agent that replies to emails is nice, but imagine 3 agents working together where one captures the lead and one qualifies and enriches the lead and the other one follows up and routes it to the right person or the right place in your organization. I mean, that is a whole entire micro business that runs its own logic. Because a simple agent obviously saves you minutes, but a stack of agents, an army of them, can buy you freedom. And honestly, nowadays, that is how solopreneurs and one-person businesses are able to scale like teams. It's how AI becomes infrastructure, not just another toy in your stack. And you don't need to jump to multi-agent orchestration yet, don't get me wrong, but just start thinking, what would happen if these agents talk to each other? Or what if you stepped out of the loop and only stepped in when it mattered or when you were needed? This is how you become an architect and how freelancers and founders and even small teams can start operating like enterprise software, but because you've given your ideas the ability to move. All right, I hope this was helpful. This was a bit of a more technical video, but I've been asked so many times to do something like this, so I really hope that it was useful. Like it if you did, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. And also, if you are interested in joining our school community, it is completely free. The link is gonna be here as well as down below. And over there, not only are we gonna show you how to do this step by step, but we also have new challenges every 2 weeks, from building an agent with NA10 to creating chatbots and everything in between. So you are able to go jump into any one of them and you will be able to learn so much. All right, everybody, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful that you took the time to be here with us. I'm always humbled by how generous you are with your time, and I am very grateful that you choose us to spend it with. I know your time is precious like everybody else's. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for watching until the end. Like this video if you did, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so, and also share this with anyone in your circle of friends or family who you think might find it useful to learn what an AI agent actually is and how it operates. And also, if you want to work on an agent and learn how to do it, then you are more than welcome to join our free school community. As I said, you can join for free, it costs you nothing. The link is going to be up here as well as in the description down below. Over there, we have challenges every 2 weeks, so you can learn how to build an agent, how to create a chatbot, and pretty much everything in between. You can jump into any one of the challenges right away, basically, really quickly, and then you can apply everything that you have learned, because this way is the only way that you will get momentum, get practice, get your reps in, and be able to succeed in this day and age. In the meantime, go ahead and watch this video over here, and I hope to see you on the other side. Bye.